Welcome back. Today we are going to be learning about adding and subtracting decimals. Let's get started. Have I written the addition clearly here? So when you look at this, does this look right to you? Something's off, right? This is a little off right here. So we are going to rewrite it. We're going to realign the digits. So the first number was written properly, 351. But the bottom number, this one is 12. And we should have moved it over because you want to keep the ones, the tens, and the hundreds all together. And when you add these all up, you get an answer. 1 plus 2 is 3, 5 plus 1 is 6, 3 plus nothing is 3. So we kind of pretend there's a 0 there. So let's see where this takes us. Add by lining up the place values on grid paper. So here is some grid paper already in the background. So let's add up 0.34 plus 0.15. So let's go here, 0.34. The key thing here with adding and subtracting decimals is you need to line up the decimal. Whatever you do, the decimal is the key to having this being done successfully. So when you add these two numbers, 4 plus 5 is 9, 3 plus 1 is 4, put the decimal, 0 plus 0 is 0. Okay, let's try this one, next one, B. So 0.46. So 0.46 added by 0.21. So when you add these together, 6 plus 1 is 7, 4 plus 2 is 6. Put the decimal in the same spot and put the 0. So it's extremely important that you line up the decimals. It is crucial, or you're just going to get wrong answers. So 0.85 plus 0.12. When you add these numbers together, 5 plus 2 is 7, 8 plus 1 is 9. Put the decimal, put the 0, and you got your answer. Let's go to 4. Remember to align your place values. So we're not always going to have grid paper, but we are going to have some challenges along the way. So here's our first little bump in the road. You have here 5 and 6. So when you add 5 and 6 together, it gives you 11. It's just like in normal adding, you put the 1, carry the 1. 3 plus 1 is 4 plus the other 1 that we carried is 5. Put the decimal down, put the 0. It may help you to first put the decimal down. Okay, so 4 plus 8 is 12. Carry the 1. 1 plus 7 plus 1 is 9. 0 plus 0 is 0. And the last one here, let's just put the decimal first. 3 plus 7 is 10. So we can only put a 0 there. Carry the 1. 1 plus 6 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So 0.90. Off to slide number 5. When a digit is missing, regard it as a 0. Check the addition. This is only when there's decimals, when a digit is missing. Okay, because there's going to be a digit missing here because I've been telling you that you don't have to write this as like 0.7 is equivalent to 0.70. But most of the time it's going to be written like this. So these two here are the exact same thing. So it's going to get confusing if you don't have a number written here. So you should write a 0 here. Okay. Does adding 0.70 plus 0.15 give you the same result? Well, the answer is yes. Because both of them are 0.85. Put the 0 here. 5, 8, and 0. Okay, so they are the same. Slide 6 asks us to do some examples. So let's do some examples together. Okay, so I would like you to rewrite these numbers. I'm not a fan of adding numbers this way. I know some people like it. I don't. But I honestly don't care how you add it. I'm just going to show you how I do it. 0.38 and 0.4. So I just have to make sure the decimals are lined up when we add and subtract. So this is what we have right now. I'm choosing to put a 0 here just to make it easier for me. So 8 plus 0 is 8. 3 plus 4 is 7. put the decimal, put the 0, and you're done. So for B, rewrite it. It's the easiest thing to do. 0.37 plus 0.49. So this one is not causing us problems. We don't have to fill anything in. So 7 plus 9 is 16. Carry the 1. 4 plus 3 plus 1 is 8. And 0.86. Now this last one's going to be a little tricky because it looks like it's missing a value. So let's try and hammer this out together. 0.85 plus 0.1. Remember, line up the decimals. Line up the decimals when adding and or subtracting. It's a must. Okay? It's mandatory. You will get the wrong answer if you don't do it. So I put a 0 here just to fill in the gap. 5 plus 0 is 5. 8 plus 1 is 9. Decimal and the 0. Slide 7. Subtraction with decimals works in a similar way to addition with decimals. Line up the place values, then perform the operation as if it were whole numbers. So there's the example right there. Let's jump to slide 8. And slide 8, of course, wants us to do examples. Why not? So I'm going to go 0.71 minus 0.44. So now you've learned in the past that you cannot take away 4 from 1. You need to borrow. Turn this into a 6. And this is now 11. 11 minus 4 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. Don't forget to put the decimal and the 0. Okay. B, same thing. Let's rewrite it. And here again, we have another situation where we cannot take away 9 from 7. It's impossible. So you need to borrow. This turns into a 2. This now is 17. 17 minus 9 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. You must put the 0. If you don't put the 0 and you tell me that the answer is 0.8, this is wrong. You must include the 0. Okay? So if you're in the habit of including the zeros, keep it up. Don't stop. For part C, again, let's rewrite the numbers. 0.85 minus 0.68. Again, you cannot take 8 away from 5. It's impossible. Turn this into a 7. This is now 15. 15 minus 8 is 7. 7 minus 6 is 1. Put the decimal, put the 0. And the last one here, 0.43 minus 0.34. Okay, let's put the decimal down first so we don't forget. Again, we have another example. 4 take away 3. You cannot do this. So you must borrow from your neighbor. The 3 becomes a 13. 13 minus 4 is 9. 3 minus 3 is 0. And return the 0 there. And that is how you would subtract these decimals. If you need to, pause the video, go back, rewatch this if you're having difficulties with subtraction. Slide number 9, write 0.98 subtracted by 0.4 in a place value chart. Remember, you must line up the decimals. So this is the first one we're going to do. 0.98. And here's the second one, 0.4. And because there's nothing over here, as you can see here, there's nothing, put a 0. Okay? That way it's just easier on the eyes. So now you have 0 and 8 minus 8 stays the same. 9 minus 4 is 5. Return the decimal. Make sure it's there again. And 0 minus 0 is 0. Okay. Last slide. Here we go. We got a few examples. So let's start off with the first one. Rewrite it. 0.85 minus 0.6. Put the 0 there. 5 minus 0 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2. Put the decimal, put the 0. You're good to go. 0.49 subtracted by 0.3. Put the 0 here. Needs to be there for some learners. I need to put it there too, and I'm pretty good at math, so there's no shame in putting the 0 there. 9 minus 0 is 9. 4 minus 3 is 1. Put the decimal, put the 0. You're good to go. C, 0.67 minus 0.4. Again, we have an opening here. Put a 0. And for this example, let me put the decimal first. Okay, get into that habit if you are getting mixed up. 7 minus 0 is 7. 6 minus 4 is 2. 0 minus 0 is 0. So we have 20.37 minus 5.29. I think some of you have an idea of where this unit is going because we're going to be doing money eventually. So this looks like something that you would see at a store perhaps. So that's how the number is written. So here we have 9, take away 7. We cannot do this. Turn this into a 2. 17 minus 9 is 8. 2 minus 2 is 0. Put the decimal. 5 take away 0. You can't do it. This needs to turn into a 1. This is now 10. 10 minus 5. 1 minus nothing. I put a 0 there to make it easy. Is 15.08. So now a little trick that I like to tell my students is if you want to make sure you did this right, and I don't know, you don't have a calculator for whatever reason, take the answer, add it to this number here. Whoops. Make sure you write it down correctly, or else you're going to get the wrong answer. 5.29. Your answer will be 2037 if you've done this correctly. 8 plus 9 is 17. Carry the 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. 5 plus 5 is 0. Sorry, is 10. Carry the 1. 2037. This will always work. This next example is a little tricky because you have a 2 subtracted by 0.52. 2 is really 2.00. So watch out for numbers like this. So now this is going to be tricky in another way because we have double zeros, and double zeros are always tricky because you have to borrow this. You cannot take 2 from 0, and this person needs to borrow from this person. Well, this person doesn't have anything, so this person now needs to borrow from this person over here. So let's demonstrate that. So this is going to turn into a 1. This person turns into a 10, then has to turn into a 9 because they got to let this person borrow. So 10 minus 2 is 8. 9 minus 5 is 4. 1 minus nothing is 1. So now if we take this answer here, 1.48, add it to this right here, 0.52, 8 plus 2 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 4 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. Carry the 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. Okay, so you're going to get a lot of examples like this and like this when it comes to money. So 10 needs to be written like this, like almost like $10. Subtract by $2.41. Might as well get used to talking money. So now we have, as you can see, triple zeros. This one's got to borrow from this one. This one has nothing, needs to borrow from this one. This one has nothing, needs to borrow from this one. So this is how it's going to look like. Okay, it's going to look like this. So you need to get from here. Turn this into a 10, then it turns into a 9. This turns into a 10, now it turns into a 9. And this is a 10. 10 minus 1 is 9. 9 minus 4 is 5. Decimal. 9 minus 2 is 7. Okay, and when we add it all up, 759 plus 241, 9 plus 1 is 10, carry the 1, 1 plus 5 is 6, plus 4 is 10, put the decimal, carry the 1, 7 plus 1 is 8, plus 2 is 10, and that's your answer right there. So this is the last part of this lesson. This is going to be tricky, especially when you're subtracting numbers like this. So please be careful. It's going to require patience. It's going to require you to slow down and take your time. Because if you rush too much, you're going to miss one of these zeros. And then double check it with a calculator. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.